Alright, I figured I'd make us as a follow-up video for more supergroup editing things and see if I can figure out more about base editing. So there's a starting room, and in this starting room, this was created here. I'm not sure if there's a way to move the starting room somewhere else, but it seems to be if you're in this room, this pops up and lets you edit the base or upgrade the plot. So we'll have to see. So let's say that the plot we have is not big enough for what we want to do, and we want to upgrade it. So we go to upgrade, and this is our current base, which is this one. And you can move it up to this one, which is 8 by 12, all the way up to a massive complex, which is 24 by 28. So this is kind of a gigantic place. So let's pick something in between. How about, they have nice descriptions for it, but it's just a size. So this is a 20 by 24. And in order to place it, you pretty much have to figure out where this fits. Let's say that this is maybe the top part of this base, right about there. Or it could be the bottom part of the base. Let's see if I can zoom out and place this. In such a way that it's with the bottom left corner. Can we do that? If not, we can always just, now how about this? So it did expand the plot. So now we have a much bigger plot to work with. So let's edit the base. And I'd like to create maybe one large room with everything in it. Now we can keep the generator here. Maybe move it over a little. Move it over? Would have to be in that room. Yeah, I can move it. How about here? And let's delete this door. So that way we have this entrance here, and this is the main room. Let's delete this room for now. It says there are items here that cannot be sold and must. So the reason I can't delete this room is because this is where the starting area is. So let's keep it here and let's maybe create another room later. I just wanted to go through and create like a room for teleporters. So let's see if we can do that. We need to get out of the room, but in here. Can move the room. Can it fit here? No, we can't move it there because there's not enough room. All right, let's put it back. Yeah, just escape. Gets you out of there. This is what's in our current room. So we're here. So let's create another room. Let's create a huge room. I wonder if the huge room would even fit into this plot. It's a 24 by 24, and I think that it's probably bigger than the plot size. So let's go to large. Let's see if we can put an 8 by 8 room somewhere. Would that work? Or is that too big? The wheel to zoom out. It should be able to fit. How do I place it? Oh, there we go. We can probably go 11 by 11 based on how big this plot is. Oh, 12 might be too big unless we go this way. Oh, look at that. Let's say that this is going to be our room, and we'll apply the style to the room. And now we can use this to put other things in here. We can place items in this room now. And there's a lot of cosmetic items you can place. And And here's the alphabet that I mentioned that you can actually put on walls to remind you what the teleporters are, where the A through whatever are. I do the same thing with salvage. I put like A through K and then K through Z. So that way I know at least where to find it and keep it organized and alphabetized. Dividers. I mean, there is a lot of stuff you can really spend hours customizing your supergroup base. I just want to do let's see, I think it's tech teleport we need. And that was gonna and by the way, these are the points that I mentioned that you can specify custom teleport points inside your base, and you can teleport to them from one part of the base to the other. So it's just, we can maybe do that later. So let's continue and see how this works. So we got that to the cascades. Just go alphabetically. I don't think I placed that there. There. Okay, so that's 6. Let's see if we can do 9. Croatoa. 1. Yeah, let's put Dark Astoria. So this is the new Dark Astoria, not the Echo one. The Echo one you can only reach from Ouroboros. This is I think 45 to 50 zone. It's pretty dangerous for beginners of this level. Once I get to higher levels, it's actually kind of fun. It has a real nice ambiance, and a lot of the missions there will give you incarnate components and merits. So it's a fun place to go. Eden, another. I wouldn't say a nice area. It's where a lot of giant monsters hang out. It's also a nice place to visit. And there's some task forces that will take you near there. Firebase Zulu is one of the outer world uh, zones. Not as populated, but you'll occasionally run across a task force in there, so it's kind of fun. First ward. And it's pretty much drag and click. And unfortunately, the door is going to get in the way of continuing it, so we'll see if we can move the door out. What did I just place there? The hollows, that's as far as I got. So you can see there are a lot of teleportation areas. Imperial City is part of the other path you can choose. You can either be a hero, a villain, or you can go through the Praetoria area, and that's what this is really. It's one of the zones, so you can always visit it after the fact. Let's see if this works. I'll put this one here. The other thing I want to see is if I could move the doorway somewhere, like, or is it possible to move this? May or may not be. Go to the room picker. And this is a huge one. And then we can maybe move this room. So it'll let me move the door, but it'll create another one over there. But then I think I can delete this door. Yeah, there we go. So I made a little room here for my teleporters. Normally you'd put teleporters in the one big wall so that it's a little nicer. But unfortunately I have decided that I'll start here. We'll see if it works. So let's see if this works in its current form and then we can continue. base, and this should give us 9. Yeah, there we go, all the way to Croatoa. 3, 6, 9. Okay, that worked. Then if we go here, we should get the next 9. Right, founder's fault or fault line. So now you've got teleporters to a bunch of places. Let's keep going. Let's just finish up the teleporter selection. And notice you have to run back to the starting room. I think there's a way to set a different room as a starting room, and it'll move the edit, but we'll figure that out later. I don't know how to do that yet. So now ideally I should have started more to the left because now I don't have room, but I'm not going to waste time doing that because it's a demo video. So let's place an item and keep going. And I believe this one was Imperial City was the last one we put in, and yeah, there we go. Let's see, Independence Port. Let's put it right here. Anyways, what I might do actually, and save time for everyone involved, is I'm going to re-edit this in a different video and then we'll add to it. The other thing I wanted to add is the trainers and merchants. And I believe they are somewhere here. NPCs, right there. And so this would be different NPCs. You just have to find the right one. I believe this is where they are. I could be wrong. And if it's not, well, this may not be. These are just NPCs. We'll find them. Once you find it, it's like, that's where they are. Items of power. Ooh, some of these look kind of nice. As you can see, there is a lot of stuff. You can even add effects to the room, like bogs, moth's breath, ground dust, snow, haze. Yeah, you can really add a lot of stuff to it. There's some tech. I could have sworn this was by NPCs, so I'm going to do another quick look. And a lot of them are like, oh, Vanguard drill instructor. I think this is the one. So let's pick this guy, lore master. So this would be a training person. It would allow you to train. There should be an Hero Corp analyst. Here's another one. This allows you to adjust levels of your current missions. Here's an icon employee, which will do your wardrobe. And there's a quartermaster for. And there's also a nurse. I'm not sure what she does. You can also add things where you can buy enhancements. And I believe those are, to scroll this back. It might be under the workshop. I think it's called the robotic fabricator, but I could be wrong. So let's put it right next to the nurse. Let's take a look and see what we've added. So the NPCs we have added are, this one will, so this is more of an introductory almost like a how-to character, and I think it will train you. This is the one for changing the levels you fight. If elites show up, all of this stuff is really in this chat bubble on the set notoriety. So you can adjust the relative level of all your missions. So if you want to make it really hard, you go to +4. If you're having a little trouble with the current mission, you make it -1. But zero's on level. This will adjust the spawn size. Normally, for one player, you pick one and you'll get a couple of enemies. You can pick 8, and it will scale the enemies as if inside missions, as if there were 8 players. So you can go in and do missions on 8, which means it's just going to be a lot of groups. When you're playing solo, do you want bosses to show up? Yes, no. If the bosses do show up, then some of the encounters will have a boss enemy. If you don't have a character that can take out a boss, maybe a controller or a defender, that's kind of low level, you might want to pick no. And some missions, or I should say, story arcs or missions, will have either an elite boss or arch villain at the end, usually like the final one in some story arc you've been following. You can have it show up as an arch villain or an elite boss. Elite boss is pretty challenging. Arch villain is pretty tough. You kind of need to know what you're doing. You'll need to probably knock down their regeneration, avoid contact with them if they hit hard, maybe move around a lot. Maybe you need a special archetype that can handle an arch villain. So elite bosses is what it's set to default because this is kind of challenging. But yeah, you can change all of that along with all the fun emotes you can do. And we'll go through the emote thing in a different video, or you can just play around with it. This is an icon employee, and it'll allow you to customize one of your appearances. If you're level 10, it's free. Otherwise, it may cost you a little bit. Or if you have a token from the tailor, it will be free. So you can also unlock more slots by playing the game. There's some missions that may give you an additional slot. You can buy some from holiday vendors, but they give you a good amount. You have 6 to start. Yeah, you have 6 to start, and these you can earn in game. 6 is a good amount, and you can always change your costume by going here and costume or \K. So if you do \K, backslash opens the menu, so you can quickly change to any of the costumes and do some fun things with that. And the nurse is like a store. Um, she'll sell you enhancements. Actually, I don't think nurse sells enhancements, but the inspirations she will. If you need enhancements, you need to go to a merchant. And I don't think I added a merchant, but I will. And I thought the fabricator would be used for enhancements, but it's not. It's just a little decoration item. So let's go back and edit the base. And we can keep the fabricator there for appearance, or we can just delete it. No, almost did something bad. Object. Yeah, so don't do what I almost did. Luckily, the game will notice that you have a bunch of stuff in this room and not let you delete it. But if you delete a room, you'll just have to redo stuff, which is okay. It's not the end of the world, but it can be time consuming. So let's see. It should be under NPCs. Oh, there it is. And I think you need to fortune. Let's see if we can figure out which one of these is an actual merchant. And if not, then well, we'll leave that for you to figure out. You can also add Winter Wolf. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe Guardian of the portal. Yeah, Guardian of the portal. Oops. Let's have him face the portal. Or her. By the way, Control Z undoes your last action. Sometimes you may click something and it does something. You can undo. It's really nice to be able to do that. I think the nurse an, should be a merchant. You can sell to the nurse, but I thought that was quartermaster. Right. Didn't I place one? Field analyst, icon employee. Oh yeah, quartermaster right there. So this is the merchant. Oh, see, like right there. I accidentally lowered the floor. All I want to do is just move the quartermaster out a little, like maybe right here. All right. The only other thing that I didn't add last time was a place to store enhancements. And that should be under tech medical, maybe? Oh, the other thing you should add is a reclaimer. So when you are defeated, you can choose your supergroup base as a place you'd like to respawn. And that's, oh, maybe the auto dock is the one that sells stuff. Let's put the auto dock right here. I'm not sure what auto dock does, but I think that's an enhancement seller. I don't know what combat logs are. We'll find out. I think that might be something usable. So somewhere in here, I believe there was a way to store. So this is the contemplation chart is the arcane equivalent. So tech equivalent might be, I don't know. Let's see what the health kit is. Oh no, it's just, I think that's just a decoration. Interesting. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the contemplation charts is where you store enhancements, and there's definitely an equivalent. So what we can do is let's just put stuff down and see which one of them does anything. What about a gurney? What about an operating table? We'll have one of those. Medical stand, rolling stand. And then we'll just delete them if we can't figure it out. So right click, exit, left click, exit. Let's see. Does this do anything? No. This? No. This. How about this? No, these are all decoration. Oh, it's the med kit. So it's the health kit is the one. Or combat logs. Combat logs looks like a merchant as well. What about Autodoc? Autodoc as well, where you can buy enhancements. I'm sorry, I keep saying enhancements. Inspirations. And you might be able to sell stuff. Yeah, you can sell. So it's just another merchant. But to buy enhancements, you have to use the, let's see, this one right here, the quartermaster. And got enhancements appropriate for the level, plus ones that are dual origin, and the ones that are single origin, which are better. And maybe in another video I'll go over the difference, but essentially the single ones are give you the lowest boost, but anyone can use them depending on your origin. The double ones have two of them in here, like this is mutation and magic. So if you're one of those, you can use it, otherwise you can't. And single origin are per origin, and since I am magic, you see the outline is for magic. So if I get one that's mutation, I can sell it, or I can throw it in one of these and let one of the alts use it. But um, the enhancements are kind of abundant, so you really don't need them. The ones you really would save are the invention ones. And the inventions you can create using this little table here. And I have no recipes, so I can't show you that. But you would have a list of recipes, and each one would show you how much salvage you need, and you would create them. And they're level based, but they never really expire. Like the enhancements, and this is kind of sad looking, but like you can see that this is starting to go towards red. When this number is red, that means the enhancement is doing absolutely nothing. You can either replace it or upgrade it with the same type. And you can upgrade by clicking on it, bringing it here, and then putting another one of same or higher level and hitting combine. And what it'll do is it'll pick the highest level plus one. So you can, if I put a 10 in here, you may get an 11 if it succeeds. But if it rolls and fails, you'll still get the highest one. So you either get the highest one or one plus one. So it's not too bad. It's a good system to start with, but then once you start getting invention, they're called IOs, invention ones, enhancements. You pretty much get one for the level, and it has that ability, and it forever stays that. See, again, I tried to delete the room. This is a little wacky, and luckily told me I can't. You have to be really careful about deleting things. You sell items, don't delete. Oh, probably don't need this. So they give you a few different ways you can sell. Oh, and you can see that this one actually does something because it uses up 15 energy and 5 control. And that's what that big generator does. So usually when things do something in your base, they tend to use up power and control. This one's a 3515. Notice this one doesn't have any power consumption, which means it's a decoration. I don't know if actual NPCs, yeah, NPCs don't really consume anything. They're just there. But like here's a portal, and it doesn't consume anything. How about these guys? They don't consume. So I guess portals are free. You can put as many. Um, Price they don't show you the. Oh, the reason I think these don't take up any is because there's a limit. You can have up to, I think, 10, maybe 12 of these, and you can have about 10 of these. There's a limit to how many you can have. So, like this item actually does something, so you can see it uses up power. Some of these don't, and I expected them to actually do something. Aux connections, 0 of 1. What does that mean? Allowed auxiliary items, none. So it allows you to have an auxiliary item, but yet there are none. Maybe this was something that they were planning for the future and never went through. Like this one, I don't think it, yeah, it doesn't allow auxiliary connections. Some things have auxiliary connections, and I guess you can experiment and figure out which ones allow and what the auxiliary connection is. But yeah, anyway, so this is our base as of now. It's completely functional other than the fact I didn't finish the teleporters. And you can store enhancements in here once I get out of edit mode, obviously. Yeah, you can throw enhancements in there. I think I showed that in the last video. And you can throw salvage in here. So if you have many characters playing, you might want to drop some rare or uncommon salvage in here. And that way, when you're constructing your IOs with the recipe table, you can pick out items from storage. So that's convenient. And to exit out, let's use our teleporter to go to Atlas Park. And we are gone. So everything works. We have a base with a bunch of teleporters, and here we are. We are back in Atlas Park.